Welcome to the Bender Continues podcast. On today's episode, we're going to dive into a game that has exploded in popularity over the last 4 years.
We're talking about a sport where in one moment you could have hit your best shot and just feel on top of the world. But following up, next effort can cripple your confidence and just have you questioning everything about your life. Many would say that the mental battle is more straining than the physical toll.
Yet beyond those trials and tribulations, this game can offer a sanctuary where players can escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life, sharing laughs with close friends, and also fueling their competitive spirits long past their prime. Today, folks, we're talking about golf.
Fourrrr! Sometimes we say that too often. It's not a good one.
Hey, listen.
That's like a too often.
Listen, Ryan should have said it once because he hit my dad.
I've
I've
hit.
gotten hit.
Yeah, but that was on purpose.
That was on purpose. I've hit your father.
Technically.
I hit the cart in front of us and gave him a beer. Yeah,
That's right.
A couple people been in my path.
That's right.
But you know what that means is, I can't reach him. No way. Ryan, go ahead and tee off. Okay, maybe not your dad. Your dad was a chip shot.
Yeah, that was. It was going onto the green. He was
Hey,
just walking onto
That's
the
a
green.
great shot then.
You were short. Pin was in the back.
Fair.
And so was the ball. Just my dad's back.
Well, you guys play a lot. I mean, you guys play a decent amount.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Compared
amount
to-
of money I've spent on golf.
How often do you think you play?
I try to play once a month.
Once a month? Okay.
That's a goal. Now, sometimes it varies because I'll play 2 or 3 times a month and then I won't play for a couple months. So I think more probably January to August. I try to play at least once a month, maybe twice, but then August to December with football season, it goes down quickly.
I would like to play more. I mean, if I was closer to you guys, I think that I would play more with you. I think that's half the issue is like you just need to going to play golf by yourself is not the well. Some people do it a lot.
Some people, yeah.
It's not going to
actually
pull
something
me
I really wanna
into the
try.
sport more to go play by myself. But if you guys were going once a month and you're like, hey, come on, let's go, and then I would probably jump into that. I'd be more likely to jump into that and go play with you, except for the fact it's 2.5 hours away. So.
We had a good stretch in Orlando, maybe last year, where we were getting out, the 3 of us at least, myself, James, and Johnny, monthly. So, yeah.
And then the other thing is, when you do invite me, you go to like a 3-day fucking tournament. I can't go from playing no golf
time.
to 6 games of golf in 2 days. Like, you guys are insane.
It was one
Listen,
time.
here comes the extreme. You got Bobby now.
Yeah,
more
now
local,
and then
so
between Bobby, Dylan, and I think
Yeah.
we'll start to go a little bit more.
if y'all recall, Bobby was our first caller guest, called in before
Yeah.
a couple episodes ago. So
Talk about someone that flip of a switch to turn into a golf maniac.
yeah,
Goodness. But
We have friends that played collegiate golf, and they asked us to go to the on the course all the time, and I'm not going.
No.
For that. These kids are like, I mean, they played I don't know, I guess Division I, like a top school collegiate golf. I mean, they're just gonna crush us.
oh,
I'm not even gonna. It'd be 2 holes. I'll be like, all right, I'm done.
it's not fun.
No,
When someone's
they're
really good
amazing.
and you're really bad. It gets
They're
a
amazing
little.
at golf.
Well, what was it, Ryan? The mental battle is more straining than the physical toll.
dude, 100%. Like, but that's also what keeps you coming back. You had 17 horrific holes. You're pissed off the entire day, and then you finish with a great hole. The entire
It could
mental
be one
challenge
swing sometimes too.
it's gone. It's
You
like,
just
oh, I'm all
pure
happy
it.
again.
It's the worst, but it's the best.
We're in the best area for golf.
Florida, yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Jupiter, West
South
Palm,
Florida.
South Florida.
There's
The
so many
Mecca.
beautiful courses.
The amount of pro golfers that live here,
Oh,
and just
man.
yeah,
yeah.
100%. No, I think living in Florida, we 100% have the opportunity to get out there as much as possible year round if we choose. I mean, the joke is, right, you drive to the west coast of Florida, all the retirement homes and whatnot, there's a golf course every other street light, it feels. So we definitely have that opportunity, which is nice.
Yeah. Florida golf courses are a specific type of golf course too.
Okay.
A lot of water.
more so for sure.
100% so. 100% so. I mean, I've been to other golf courses in other states, and they just don't have as much water. We have, I mean, it's all swampland. Like all we have is just water here. So when they build these golf courses, they use that as to retain water, because especially for flooding. That's one of the biggest things.
I'm trying to think of the other courses that we've been to outside of Florida.
I mean, you've been to the Arizona golf course. We went to for Ryan's bachelor party.
That's where you got hit, Kenny. Maybe that's why you don't remember it. The whole,
that course was beautiful.
A little fuzzy for you.
It was a desert, so there wasn't much water out there.
And then mountains in the background.
We played in Brooklyn for Johnny's bachelor party. Yeah. That was a trek.
Sure was. It was
good time.
We did not make all 18. Nope.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Diker Heights. Funny enough, I actually didn't realize this when we booked it. My grandpa grew up there. That's where he was like born and raised, kind of deal. And when we went, it was his birthday. So I gave him a call, gave him the happy birthday. He's like, yeah, we're going to play golf today. He's like, where are you going to play? We're like, we're playing in Brooklyn. He's like, you're playing at Diker Heights? I was like, yeah. So I ended up getting him a golf shirt for him from that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. It was a kind of cool moment. So his older brother used to bartend at the 19th hole, which is another thing that's at like every golf course.
Yeah.
Such a cliche at this point. What about hole 0? Let's try that one out. No? Maybe?
What? Yeah, but
the warm-up? That'd be good.
The warm-up? That'd
start there, yeah.
What do you guys drink? What's those drinks?
Transfusions.
Yeah.
Only on the golf course.
Yeah, you guys drink a lot of those.
So good.
But let me tell you, the nicest golf course I've ever played was up in Montana. Podunk town, small, one stoplight type situation. It's in Eureka, Montana. It's called the Wilderness Club. Holy crap. Played it before my childhood friend's wedding. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Of course, you know me. I had to ship my clubs out.
Yeah. Fuck. Jesus. Was that a Southwest? Was that a Southwest flight? Was it free?
It's expensive. It's fine.
No.
Southwest. I get it for free. So it's whatever. But anyways, what was your question?
It was about if you shipped them out on Southwest, but never.
Yeah, Southwest. Yeah. Southwest. No.
Where did we go that you were the only person?
Course.
Oh, Vegas.
That was Vegas.
Vegas. We played in Vegas.
We did play in Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah. That was a nice course.
We didn't play in the Strip though.
No.
I don't know. I'd love to play at Johnny. What is it? The golf course. The
Win.
Yeah.
The
Win. Holy
Beautiful.
shit!
Shell out some fucking dollars for that.
They got a fucking waterfall on like 18 or something.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Now back to Montana with it. Like it's only open for a couple months out of the year, right? So
I don't know.
Like Brooklyn.
We played in I think May. It's really close to Canada. Like the border was like 20-minute drive away.
yeah.
Well, it's got to get cold then.
So I would assume, yeah.
It's got to get cold. It's fucking Montana, Kenny. You can't.
How many oceans are there?
I didn't get that wrong.
I asked that because my brother.
That's where Joe's from.
My brother, when he switched jobs, he did a
Joe
training
Montana.
session in Wisconsin for 6 months. But he said some of the golf courses there, some of the nicest he's played at. So it just seems that the northern feel, kind of offers that, which is a little surprising for us being in Florida with having access to so many golf courses.
Yeah.
And then you go up north to some of these, it's a different dynamic.
Just the grass.
The
grass is different.
I agree. The grass, but also like how they design the courses are a lot nicer. Where the rough, and then you go into kind of like the out of bounds portion is more just like forest, but without a bunch of crap on the grounds. Where in Florida we've got bushes and this and that and this freaking weed growing and this. It's just absolutely, you can never find your ball. The minute you go towards the trees, it's gone. Right, like that's kind of the deal. You go in the trees up in some of these other courses and you have some space.
Someone at this table knows a lot about hitting the trees.
Hey.
He also knows a lot about the rough. I believe you played at Arnold Palmer.
Did a
And
couple years ago.
at Bay Hill in the rough, you were telling us was
You're deep in the rough. It's
It's grabbing.
You're hacking a lot of grass. And just hoping and praying. And then when you do hit the ball and make a little contact, it goes about 5 feet. And then it just goes more into the rough a little bit further. Yeah. Trees, though, we love some good old trees. Winter pines, baby.
Winter Pines, baby. Yes, that's a good one. That's the OG. We haven't played there in a long time.
dude.
Long
The
time.
prices it is over $50
At Winter
to play
Pines
there.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I heard they changed some things around though.
A couple buddies have told me that they've been pumping some money into it. It was kind of already a nice course for being cheap, surprisingly.
Yeah. Very busy.
in the middle of Orlando. So I'd be excited to play it again. However, you got to bring a foursome. Got to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nice courses in Orlando. There's a lot of nice courses all over Florida. So, I mean, Florida's obviously where we played the most.
Yeah.
It's you could play all year round. Honestly, it's crazy how much the freaking prices spike towards the winter and
And also
fall
getting
times,
tee
but-
times is really difficult.
Yeah, you really got to be on
Plan
it.
out.
Yeah.
Some courses will let you do like 2 weeks in advance, but basically every course is like a week in advance.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And if you're not on it,
Yeah. I want to turn it back to you talking about the Florida courses, water, right? Water brings gators. And you talked about Gramps though earlier.
Yeah.
And there's a golf moment that I'll never forget where Gramps, legend, I think it's 17 at Lake Placid.
yeah.
And he's teeing off. He's got a gator maybe where John and I are to you two, just chilling doesn't even pay attention to it. OG hits one just center.
Yep.
Straight in the middle of the fairway.
No, I'm telling
Like
you,
a
this
legend.
thing, 2 feet away from him, maybe.
Huge, big one, not a baby, a big
It was
mama.
6 to 8 feet.
Yeah.
Easy. Just sunning, just chilling, right on the tee box. And, he just walks up nonchalant, doesn't care. I'm going to the back of the freaking cart, grabbing a club just in case I got to beat the shit out of freaking Wally the Gator over here. Yeah, that I agree. That's a lot of gators. And sometimes they'll remove them, but sometimes they just let them be because they don't really bother anybody. Yeah, there's a lot of famous like videos of like you just see like a giant gator just walking across a golf course in Florida. It's kind of insane.
I feel like it's happened at Bay Hill a couple times on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Well,
Didn't it happen?
Creek? Remember
Shingle
we were at
Creek?
Shingle Creek and there's the gator?
His cousin
Yes.
in the sand.
Your cousin in the sand. That's
Oh,
right.
that's right, Thomas.
Yeah.
That's a Lagama thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just chill. Hey, I'm just gonna knock this ball out the sand real quick, even though there's a gator 3-4 feet away from me. Like it was nothing. I'm just like, what, dude?
I mean, the most famous gator of all time has to be the one that took Chubbs' hand.
Ah, Chubbs.
Chubbs.
R.I.P.
Yep,
for Chubbs.
That's a big one.
Aren't they making another?
I heard
Stop.
it, yeah.
They're making another.
I heard
Really?
they got approved or something like that. Which
Adam
gotta
Sandler
be-
playing around.
Is he's doing it?
Yes, he
oh, all
is.
right, thank God.
Oh yeah, he's
God.
Playing
in it.
Chubbs.
What is he going to be the coach now?
It's in development for sure.
it would if Adam Sandler's not in it, it wouldn't go.
No, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't hit. Like
Of
it
course.
did.
You got to have a Happy Gilmore production. Like, there's no
Oh,
way you
yeah.
can have that without.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's gonna kill it.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited. I'm
Years later too.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
many years? When was
Years
that?
later.
When did that come out? I mean, it's a Happy Gilmore production, so
Oh, it's from the 90s.
yeah,
It has to be.
It's got to be in the '90s.
It's a young Sandler.
Where was it filmed?
Ooh,
That's a great question.
I'm just curious. Maybe some of the golf courses they might have played.
wouldn't be surprised.
Gotta be Florida.
If it was Florida.
You think so? Because of the gator?
I don't know though, because they can stage a lot of that. Like they
Yeah.
I don't. That's a good question.
Better golf movie, Happy Gilmore or Caddyshack?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
It just doesn't even compare.
Damn.
It's
Ty.
an OG.
Ty, we were talking about Caddyshack earlier, man.
Happy Gilmore, no doubt about it.
Okay. I'm going to go Caddyshack.
That's
Bill
fair.
Murray.
There's our
Do they
hot
have Shooter McGavin in it again?
I don't
I think
I
he's-
think
I
he's
think
in it
he's
or
in it.
he's
I've-
referenced, yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be good, man. I mean, if you because I think for the most part, most of those people are still in production in some
Yeah.
way. So because they were so young early on when that got produced, so you're gonna have a 2.0 and it's gonna be killer.
Well, while we're talking about all these different courses, I'm just curious because obviously I feel like we've thought about where we want to play next. I mean, yeah, we've got Florida and we want to obviously keep playing, but there's probably some bucket list places out there that you guys have wanted to try to play around at, or just like the course just looks amazing and you just have to play there at some time. I don't know if you guys have any bucket list courses on your docket.
Well, I mean, if you watch like Full Swing on Netflix, I think that's a really good indicator of seeing courses that you would never see, right? Like if you're not an avid golfer, you're not going to fly to Europe to go on courses and whatnot, but you have the opportunity to see these beautiful courses. And I think Europe as a whole, in a lot of places that they go, I think you were saying Scotland, right?
St. Andrews.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful courses. Like these courses are just like, I mean, they have just the architecture for the clubhouses to like hills that are overseeing with bodies
oceans.
of water, and it's just amazing. Like, it's gorgeous. So I think that, big props to Full Swing because that show is awesome. And then also the courses in Europe would be like an awesome place to play.
Yeah, I would say so. Your question, James, I kind of think of it in two parts, right? I think about where I would want to play, and then also where I would want to maybe attend an actual golf event.
Okay, fair. I like that.
And I think it's a no-brainer. Obviously, like Augusta, no doubt about it. The Masters, like it was very close to going last year. Should have pulled the trigger. Should have did it. We did not. However, there's nothing just like getting an egg sandwich for $1.50 over at the Masters. Like the fact that the food prices are that cheap is so cool, and that makes it even
Little pimento
more
cheese
unique. Little
sandwich.
pimento cheese sandwich. I also think it's really cool that there's still a venue wherever it is and whatever like sport concert where you don't bring your phone. There's nothing like that.
That's unique.
Oh,
The fact you cannot have your phone.
at the Masters?
Nope.
I didn't know that.
I mean,
There-
it's like a whole different world. At the Masters.
It's so cool. And like that just kind of keeps that just the old school mentality and keeping the game of golf still very similar to where, hey, let's just have a tune eye on what we're looking at.
How do they stop that?
I think you have to put it in like a bag or a locker.
Yeah.
And then most people just don't bring it. I don't necessarily know, to be honest. But you don't bring your phone in,
Wow.
which is very unique. I'm sure people try to sneak in.
They don't want to film. That's why.
Yeah, they don't want
that's
that,
like
no.
it's kind of like going to the Netflix stuff. Like they put it in
Yeah.
a little bag or whatever.
Don't we know someone? Wasn't Eric Fogel? Doesn't he have a place in Augusta?
Yeah, apparently I believe his family or his parents lived in the neighborhood
Wow.
where they
Yeah.
would get like practice to like tickets every year to go to the practice, and then there's a lottery to either get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, which is unreal, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
One of the things that got me into golf, and it's not a specific course, is obviously witnessing the Ryder Cup. I remember watching the Ryder Cup, I think it was 2-3 years ago. That's just really cool because it's like that camaraderie. It's the team sport, which Full Swing actually did a really good job at breaking that down for those that maybe don't know about golf. But
Yeah, it was awesome.
I think a course I would play at, though, or I would dream to play at, is either Pebble Beach, Pinehurst, or, of course, like St. Andrews. Like, that would be dope. And those are all, like, bucket list, but
Yeah.
definitely top 3 there.
For the Masters, the reason you can't bring your phones in, they gotta, they can't let it be known about the birds. Isn't the whole rumor if there's actually birds there, if they're pumping in the sound at the Masters? Isn't that a
That
thing?
is a true statement right there. I've
So,
actually read that and
you know,
seen and heard that.
The phones, the proof? Are there birds? Are there not? I don't know. So maybe that's behind it.
It's just that course is just beautiful.
Yo,
It's true, James. I swear. All right,
Some
bucket
people.
list. Bucket list.
Some
Sorry.
people.
Agree on if you're not into golf, Full Swing really breaks it down for you. We've watched it the first 2 seasons. It always aligns right before Bay Hill, which we've now gone to the last 3 years. So for my wife, at least, she feels really good about knowing all the golfers from what so we binge watch it and then go. But they did have Ryder Cup, great breakdown. For me, I think I'd want to play in Hawaii. And I don't, not a specific course, just any course in
Really
Hawaii.
windy though.
Very windy, but I mean the views, just the water right
Yeah.
there. That would do it.
What's
for
the
me.
course you guys always go near? Because you guys, Morgan's family has the timeshare on Maui. It's the
I don't know the course, but that's probably the
one. It's
my
right by the
best
Marriott,
chance.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice course. I mean,
Now I also don't know what condition it's in with all the stuff that happened in Maui.
that was in Lahaina, I think. That was up north. So that was where the golf courses that we're talking about. It's more south, right?
So the one
Did
I
it go down there?
There's
the
one
fire?
in Lahaina that we would always drive by.
Oh,
That I've thought might be the one I could play at, but
Okay.
there is also one, I guess you're right, on the other side by the Marriott.
yeah. That's
So-
that's the one I was thinking of. We stayed close to it, and I know you guys have talked about that Marriott a couple times. It's really nice.
Yeah, I'm with you though. To attend, yes, Masters. Ryder Cup looked crazy. It looked intense.
yeah,
Probably expensive as shit. You probably want to go to the one on U.S. soil, get more rowdy because going over to Europe,
Oh,
you're in
yeah,
enemy
it was-
territory. But
it looked rowdy.
Yeah.
That got the blood pumping though. Like I was.
oh, for sure.
If that doesn't get you going, like damn. it was really cool to see that and whatnot. Like I didn't really know much about the Ryder Cup prior to watching it on Full Swing. I knew of the Ryder Cup, but I've never watched anything about it, so I didn't really dive deep into that. But they break it down really good, show you the behind the scenes, show you the process that these guys are going through, which is pretty grueling throughout the year because a lot of pressure's on them.
Yeah.
And it also helped you understand like how the positioning worked in it because obviously there's the points-based players that get in that are basically in because of their performance for the season. But then the other ones that are selected, which is it's just cool. It's literally like the fucking Olympics. It's awesome.
Talk about the energy levels. I was watching a clip on the way here it was a couple years ago, but it was Bryson, first hole, and he just puts it on the green.
Oh, he piped the ball.
Piped it. People are going fucking nuts. I'm sitting on the train coming down going fucking nuts. Like, just, it's a cool experience, man. Be awesome for us to go in person.
That was at the 2021 Ryder Cup, right? In Wisconsin?
Yeah.
It's
pretty
so
cool.
funny. I used to, so I've been brought up in golf for a while now. I played since middle school. Like my grandparents got me lessons. That was one of the biggest things because they lived on I guess a private course, part of their like big neighborhood. So they had, only they could bring people on. My uncle was one of the golf pros there, so he's the one who actually taught me how to play. But anyways, long story short, I used to sit at their house and there'd be golf on TV, and it was so boring. So boring. And like I was like, man, every Sunday we come here for dinner. You gotta watch golf. And it's just like, oh, great hit. Oh, wow, Tiger with that putt. Very good. Very good. And I'm just like, this is so, and now all of a sudden it's insane. But nevertheless, just wanted to share my bucket list real quick. I agree with all you guys, what you guys said, but two that haven't been said. I really want to go to Whistler, Canada.
Ooh, that'd be good.
They've got a couple of courses that I'd like to play like kind of like multiple rounds at. And then our guy, Steve Cook, St. George, Utah, something about like the Grand Canyon-esque, like really high elevation golf shots with the, you got the brown and then the green grass. And it just looks really cool. Aesthetically, it looks awesome. But
maybe that's also what the northern courses bring, is that elevation that we just don't have that
we're flat
in Florida.
Yeah, that's true.
So
more hilly, for
yeah.
sure. One thing that an experience in the golf world that we took part in, which is now renamed, but the Honda Classic, that was an event that we went to together that was really awesome.
yep,
And that was
it's no longer called the Honda Classic.
No,
anymore.
now it's called
the Cogent.
What is it?
Cogent
What is
Classic.
Cogent?
Cogent. It's like a tech company or something like that.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, I mean now it's not called the Honda Classic, but when we went, it was called the Honda Classic.
Yep.
And that was a sporting event that was really cool. And I did not realize how much is put into the sporting event, particularly the Honda Classic, because that was the one that we went to. But I could not imagine a live event like the Masters or Ryder Cup. I mean, where it gets even more rowdy. I mean, this year, I think for one, you saw how rowdy things got with the waste management tournament this year, which was in many cases like kind of put to a halt because there was a lot of people and a lot of people drinking very heavily. So that is a tournament that gets pretty crazy, and I would like to see the waste management kind of infrastructure, because I think it's nuts compared to a lot of other events. But compared to other sporting events, because I've been to, and we've all been to, baseball games, football games, UFC fights, everything. I mean, any type of game, I feel like we've basically all been to at one point in our lives. But golf tournaments compete like at a high level with a lot of these, and I think maybe more so now as it's picked up speed and as more people started to play the sport. I mean, how many people go to these tournaments? Massive amounts. I don't know how many people were at Waste Management, but that was one of the reasons why they had to shut down, I think, the alcohol sales and whatnot at the event. So it's picking up, it's getting crazy, and I think it competes with some of the largest stages out there.
So we went to Bay Hill, which is about a month after the Arnold Palmer Invitational, a month after Waste Management, and they changed the alcohol policies, PGA did, and they said strictly because of what happened at Waste Management. Their cutoff is a lot sooner, because before, I remember last year we were there, they're done. Like the last group is finished, and we're still at the Kettle One bar hanging out. But I think, what was it, 4 o'clock they were cutting off?
Yeah, so on Friday is when I found out. And then we went Saturday too. But yeah, Friday they stopped serving like 4:30, which is absurd. Like very unique compared to, again, last year. It was dark and we were still getting drinks.
But it's a direct reaction
Yeah,
to
because of the waste management.
But it makes me think that the stage for just golf, large golf events as a whole, right? You know how many people can go into a football stadium.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of seats. You know how many people can go into a baseball stadium. There's a certain amount of seats. Or a UFC fight, there's a certain amount of seats. What's their cap on a lot of these? Because it's outdoors. People are moving around. People are walking. You're not really sitting at all. I mean, there are seats in some of the spots, but how are they regulating the amount of people going into these events? Because it's a completely different game than really any other sport.
It's also a lot longer than a single game
Oh,
of
yeah.
football.
Definitely.
You could be there from sun up to sundown,
Yeah.
Easy.
like we did.
Yeah, easy,
We
yeah.
closed the bar. We helped them pack up and take out the trash.
And it's multiple days, most of these things. Right?
Oh,
So
yeah, 3-4 days,
usually
depending on which
Friday,
tournament.
Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, things like that. So, I mean, it's multiple days. Not that everyone's going to every single day, but it's a different style of a large stage event than the others that it competes with. But the point is, it's getting big. It is getting big fast. Potentially too fast.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say there's been companies or organizations that have struggled while the pandemic was happening. I think it's safe to say the PGA definitely leveled up and found a niche during that time when everyone was at home. I also think because in certain areas, and in Florida, I was reading up on this the other day. In Florida, we weren't really impacted as much because of closures and whatnot, and golf was always open, right? But a lot of the northern states and a lot of other states that had more strict rules where people weren't able to play golf, what that did was push more people to play golf in 2021. And that's where you saw that large growth and kind of that following within the PGA. But it's on a different level. And I think as all organizations need to adapt and really follow like what the trends are, they are tapping into a younger target market, which it's not so much that old man, sport or following as much as it was. It's still there. But there's just a younger demographic. And like for the waste management to be one of the biggest like spots for bachelor parties, just shows you how like nuts. And I know like one thing like PGA has tried to stay away from is like, that live fun vibe, having live music, but there's more and more courses now that are doing that in the PGA. So it's just unique.
It's changing the game.
I think it's great for golf. Now, is it a little crazy that like you have to stop serving alcohol because of the amount of kids and people getting hammered at the waste management? Pretty crazy story, but and then that obviously have an impact at 5 o'clock at the Arnold Palmer 4 or 5 weeks later.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but still pretty unique.
You talk about waste management. I mean, now with the NFL and that additional bye, it literally falls, I believe the last 2 years now, it falls on the same weekend as the Super Bowl. There was one year that the Super Bowl, it was the same weekend in Arizona. So it is rivaling the Super Bowl.
And we missed it.
We did. But just it adds to the popularity. I think one cool thing about a live golf event is every ticket is VIP. I mean, you are so close to these professional players, whether they're teeing off or putting or whatever, and you don't have to pay for courtside. You don't have to pay for first row pricing. It's just general admission, and you can be, an arm's length away and just experience that. So that's a pretty cool dynamic that it brings.
I just looked this up. Now, according to TPC Scottsdale, the Waste Management Open is described as the best attending golf tournament in the world, with more than 700,000 fans in attendance each year. Now, of course, it's a multi-day event, but 700,000. I mean, if you think about the biggest football stadium, you're probably
That's 7 games.
You're
the biggest ones.
Yeah,
100,000 is you're
and packed,
pushing, and
Yeah.
maybe
which
150.
doesn't happen every single game.
That's not even NFL. That's college state, like the Michigans, the Ohio States,
And that's a
LSU.
one game event, one day, and that's if they sell out, which I mean is insane. 700,000 people is ridiculous. Like, that's like
So fucking close to 1 million.
We
people.
recently
It's
did
ridiculous.
we
We gotta
recently
get
did
to 1 million. We gotta get to it.
We recently
break
did an
it,
episode
dude.
about ultra attendance and some of these like EDC and things
Yeah.
like that, and they don't even have 700,000.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's like multi stages. They rent the entire city. Like it's crazy. So 700,000.
You just don't think about it because, like you said, it's free flowing. Like there's not really a true tracker. It could be more than that. There's just people flow. I mean, I know we were asking ourselves at Arnold Palmer, people just walk in. Like there's so many different gaps
It's hard
for that.
to manage.
So, yeah.
I mean, you're talking about an entry point of like how many places where you can enter any type of golf course.
Yeah.
I mean, they try to do their best to cap that, but yeah, difficult.
So I just looked up how many people were in like proximity and area during the Super Bowl. The number was guesstimated around 300,000 people. Could you imagine? So that is on a Sunday, and then tie in, let's just say 100,000 people on Sunday for the waste management. That is a lot of traffic and a lot of people in that area, in that city.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Great
I
for the
didn't-
numbers.
I did not
Great
realize
for the companies around there.
Yeah.
700,000 is insane.
That's a lot. I mean,
And that's not even counting people that probably come in that don't actually go, but are there for other reasons. So, like you said, you looked up around. There are certain people that don't have the tickets, but still are involved with the festivities around it. That was like 700,000 people in attendance.
that's nuts.
So, I mean, they easily bring 1 million around.
Yeah.
It's insane. Crazy.
Kenny, you talked about the Honda Classic. So James and I actually had the opportunity to play there as part of like a boys golf trip. So we basically, our friends Eric Fitzgerald and Tanner Moeller got us an in. And we did was it 3 days of golf?
Thursday to Sunday. But yeah, Thursday to Sunday. So we came in on, there was actually 5 rounds of golf we ended up playing.
Yeah. So I just think that the boys and golf trips, I think that's the future, right? We got our bachelor parties and they're starting to fizz out. What's the next excuse to, hey, sweetie, let's get a weekend together. The boys are going out. Oh yeah, we're going to go play some golf for sure. Then the late night festivities happen. So I'm excited to see that maybe that next phase of life play out. I think it's going to be with golf trips.
It would be a good one. And I mean, that isn't uncommon already. People have done that in the past, and you've always heard of it.
There's so many different videos out there that are like, yeah, golf trip for the boys, and then it's just the boys having a hell of a time not even on the course.
Golf Digest, Zero Golf, they're
great.
undefeated, those posts, what they put out.
However, we definitely would play golf.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying we wouldn't. We
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
We just might be short.
We just might not be playing, as many, or yeah, you're right. Might miss that first morning tee time after a night out. But it was a cool time playing on the Honda Classic. I mean, it's a challenging course. We got to play the championship course twice. One in the rain, which wasn't the greatest experience, but then we had we make it into a tournament. Right. So like we bring like 16 guys. People pay in for tournament winnings essentially, and it's just a whole different system going on. There's side bets and all this stuff. Alcohol, I mean, dinners and stuff. I mean, it's the whole 9 yards. It's practically a production. It's a lot of fun. It's grueling though. I felt like I was at 2-a-days again.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to bring the foam roller, the percussion massager, the bands to help me stretch. I mean, we were putting our shoes and socks out on the balcony so they can freaking get soaked up all the rain and sweat, and the room doesn't smell either. And I was snoring my ass off.
I mean, you then recreated that for our friend group in Lake Placid last year.
Yeah, which honestly, you could do it in any city.
Yeah.
You just need maybe 3 courses in a weekend, play a back-to-back on Saturday, and then you play one on Sunday. And you can structure so many different types of games. Golf isn't just what's the lowest score I can put on the course, right? You can do team challenges. You can do a variety of different types of scoring mechanisms. I mean, you got match play, you got scramble, you got best ball, you've got a couple of other things that are out there. Like one I played recently is called Lone Wolf or something like that, something around that name title. We've played Daytona whatever with Tanner and Fitz, where you count the scores differently based off of if you get par or not. Like
Right.
it's a whole thing. It's a lot of fun. It creates competitiveness. You try to, you got handicaps, so there's a little bit more of a fairness play that comes with golf.
You can come to the 3-day event and have fun and have just, a really high handicap and still be competitive, bud.
I just don't. It's not that I don't want to. I don't have the time.
You don't want to hang out with us for 3 days?
No, I don't
all
have the
day?
time to play 5 fucking rounds of golf.
We didn't say 5, we said 3. But if anyone out there is actually looking for maybe a template for this, we have one for you, so we can send it to you. Just go ahead and hit us up. But
If I need a template for my golf,
not for your golf, for hosting a golf tournament in a sense.
James has everything in Excel of every event he's ever planned,
got an
including
Excel
this
sheet
template.
for you. How to measure your performance of a 3-day event.
This one's in
We're
Word.
gonna need 20 guys.
16. He said
16. 20 gets a little crazy.
Oh shit! Sorry.
5
Four
tee
more.
times? It's crazy.
How many mulligans do you allow in your event structure, James?
Well, we actually did beerigans. What do we call them?
Chug a
Chulligans?
Oh, yeah.
Where you had to chug a beer in order to get a mulligan.
Yeah.
How many
So-
I've
chulligans
heard
do
of
you use,
that.
John?
People doing that.
Not enough.
But you were allowed 1 mulligan. You just had to pay into the mulligan. Because remember, this is like there's a winnings. It's a tournament. You're trying to compete, so you can't just give out free mulligans. Not everyone uses a mulligan all the time. Some people would, some people wouldn't. So if you wanted to use a mulligan, and you had to pay, I think it was $20, something like that. So that's what we do. But when we normally play golf, we usually just do a mulligan in the front, a mulligan in the back, 9. Sometimes I guess you can call the breakfast ball a mulligan. I don't know.
So, question for you: Is
Mm-hmm.
a mulligan just off the tee box, or can you use it on the fairway?
Yeah, you know what? This is
Because I haven't
Please
played golf
stop.
in about 6 months, and I actually went golfing with the client the other day, and it was coming down to the wire, and
you gotta let the client win.
competitive spirits come out a little bit. He's got to see who he's working with.
Secure the bag.
He drops the second ball about 40 yards away on hole 17. I go, okay, I'm using my mulligan. I said, all right.
Listen, nothing will beat what Tim did
He's done that on the green.
on the green for a putt. He took a mulligan. He sank it
He did.
and then walked away, and I think he somehow won or something. Like it helped him propel him to.
We lost. We played him and our friend Kyle Sobash. We lost by 1 fucking stroke on 18.
Yeah.
And he used a mulligan like on 9 for a putt.
Yeah,
Fucking bullshit.
it's no.
That's rough.
I am a firm believer. Mulligans should only be on the tee box.
Yes.
I agree.
Agreed.
I will,
You hear that, Tim?
I will meet someone halfway with a mulligan up to your wedge shot essentially onto the green. So if you want to take it from tee box to before the
But
green,
for a putt,
I'll meet.
A putt. That's
But a putt, no chance in hell. No chance in hell.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because I started really playing more golf with you guys, and we just always mulligans off the tee box.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's how I was taught.
But
I never even thought it was possible.
then we go to the fairway, and then people just graduate straight full send to the putter. Like,
Well, we were at his course, so we really couldn't. Home course, home rules, fine. But
Still,
it was asinine.
that's like when you play Monopoly at someone else's house. They got all these fucking rules going on. Bullshit.
Let's clap it up, though. A little golf clap for Johnny not playing for 6 months and having a competitive match there, John.
Well, it wasn't competitive. I mean, I just
Johnny comes out swinging. Just don't put him in the same cart with my dad.
Do you play golf a lot with for business?
not as of late, but I typically it would be like once or twice every few months. It depends on also the client if they enjoy it. If they enjoy it, yes.
Don't you play the Disney courses a lot too?
Yeah.
For the client stuff?
Yeah. Wherever they want to play. I mean, it just depends. But then again, it's like, all right, 4 or 5 hours on a golf course, it's a long time. And I think it's you have to have a fair balance of your casual conversation versus the business side versus it's a lot. And that person also needs to be, quote unquote, maybe an extrovert if they're an introvert. So it is a lot to juggle. It's a great time. I love playing golf. I love getting out with people, but there's usually the clients and customers that are avid golfers, so it's just naturally like, let's go out there and have a good time. But yeah, not as often.
On top of that, you've got to handle your cool.
Yeah, well, that's
And
another thing.
people want to see how you react
Sure.
to certain situations, and the golf course is going to put you in many different situations.
That's a good
Where
point.
you don't are you gloating when you're kicking their ass? Are you constantly teaching them what to do? Which I know was my biggest problem. I stopped that. So, but anyways, whether or not you're throwing clubs, getting angry, like I mean,
Could you imagine?
I've seen this man put a club into the fairway, and it got stuck. He slammed the club. It got He goes
but that's
pulling out.
Florida fucking golf course, man. It's just mud.
He goes to yanking it.
You are making it sound like an angry golfer right now.
One time. Happens to the best of us. But that game was dug.
I just
One more time though, and probably the funniest golf moment that I've ever had was when Tim was saying how fucking amazing I think it was a driver, and he had this driver. He was like, this fucking driver. It was Scottsdale, I think. This driver is amazing. I can hit anything with this. He was gloating about it hole after hole after hole. And then Johnny's like, let me use it. He goes, he fucking tees off, and the head like launches.
I remember that.
Dude, it fucking just like it literally snapped off. He used it one time. He didn't even practice it. He just, and all of a sudden it just broke in half.
Wait a second.
Tim, like right in front of his life, he's just like,
I'll have to ask.
like he lost his whole game.
I'll have to ask Tim about this, but I sold Tim my driver.
No, this was a rented club in Scottsdale.
It was the rental.
It was a rented club in
Oh,
Scottsdale.
he was
okay.
like asking
he
the
was just
clubhouse,
so-
like,
I
I'm
was
gonna
gonna
can
say.
I buy this club off you guys? He was gonna buy.
He loved it.
Wasn't
he
it
loved
the?
it. Like,
It was the Callaway.
It was a
right?
nice
the green
and,
Callaway
you know,
or whatever.
and Johnny just fucking wrecked it in one swing.
Johnny said, "No, you're not."
Fucking there. Meanwhile, in fucking Brooklyn, we got drivers that had dents on them.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, who scheduled that event?
It was a good time. It was
Dude, there
tough.
really
it
aren't
was a good
many.
time. We just
So
slept for
tough.
14
There's
minutes.
not
That was
many
it.
golf
We did
courses
sleep for
close.
14
I
minutes.
was actually playing really good that day. I don't know how, but I was dead. Like I was so fucking.
I've actually
hungover.
routinely played very well at all bachelor parties.
There you go.
Extremely well.
We make it to about 9, and then we.
I think I
back it
play
in.
well at those specifically for one reason. I think
Alcohol.
hole 1 through 3, I am just trying to get into things. And then from like 4 through 9,
Right.
I play pretty decent, specifically because my energy level can't get past like a 3 because I'm just completely wiped out. So I'm like the most calm person, probably the calmest I can be because I have nothing left in me. So I'm like basically just perfect for golf. I'm just so calm. I can't get mad because I just don't have it in me. So it's good. I think that's why.
I mean, logic.
that's
It sounds makes sense.
I literally don't have it in me half the time. I mean, when we're going, I'm like
It's-
just still waking up.
It's hit or miss for me with once I'm starting to like get the alcohol flowing a little bit and get loosey goosey and whether or not I'm playing good or I'm still playing fucking awful. But yeah, I don't have that problem or that situation that you're talking
You
about.
didn't have enough fun the day before.
Oh, I did.
Nope, you did.
Oh, I did. All right. Anyways,
All right, we talked about winter pines and having to bring a foursome
love
there, and
you.
if you don't, you get stuck with a random golfer.
Ah.
Now we've all been there where you got a twosome or a threesome, and there's a little worry that okay, are we gonna make it just us, or are we gonna get someone paired?
No.
So what is that? What are the dynamics, I guess, in your experience of having a random added to the group? And then how do you determine who sits with the random? That is always a debate.
when you have the threesome, that's-
Whoever shows up last out of that threesome, they are paired with the other person. That's the golden rule. I will do this. I am not bougie. I do not like to spend money on stupid stuff. But if I can prevent having a random person pay with me, I will literally pay for that spot.
Yes.
damn.
It's just
I'm too cheap for that.
I've done it. We've had some good times, and I've had some very great conversations with random people. But there's just again, it takes that one.
Didn't we have one guy recently where we were just like, please, just go. just go play ahead because we're just that bad. We were like holding them back. Maybe I was with somebody else, but this is an old guy. He was striping the ball just so good. And he's like waiting for us. We're like to find balls and he can't hit because, or he's waiting on us to fucking hit and all this shit. It was really bad.
That's the worst because a lot of times the solo golfers, they're really fucking good.
Yeah, I would think. You're not going
In COVID, when you get your own carts during COVID, we did. We sent a guy off. We had a threesome, but we had 4 total carts.
Yeah.
And we're just like, you're a lot better than us. Why don't you just hit the road? Just keep it moving because it's that like you have your own. Like you're playing at your own pace, right? You got your own vibes, your own feel, and then this person, more times than not, they're a lot better than you. It's just sometimes you get that great dynamic, and it's awesome, it gels. But a lot of times it's kind of awkward, and it's just we didn't want this, we didn't sign up for this. We were all excited about the round, and now.
Well, you feel that push behind you too. Like you feel them after.
Fuck the people! From the people behind you,
people
forget
behind
them.
I fucking.
But
I hate feeling rushed.
I don't like that either, but you do feel that sometimes,
Yeah.
and that is part of the game. And
and then they don't know it's the people in front of you.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Listen, you paid to play. They paid just as much as you. They can wait.
Yep.
And like you just got to tell yourself
At
that, but
the
you
end of the
don't
day,
think
it's on the
that way. You're like,
course's problem.
they're behind me. Got to speed up.
Yeah, the course is.
course
And you
is
miss
one
a
that
2-foot
automated.
putt because you're going fast.
The course is the moderator of that.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
should,
I
they
agree.
should break
They should
that
send
down.
out the what do they call them? The Rangers, and they tell you gotta pick up the pace of play. You gotta pick it up.
It is there.
A lot of the golf carts now have like the monitors telling you what your pace of play is like.
do.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, James, you made a comment about coaching people on the golf course. You made that comment because John and I had an experience. We had Adam Vincent out on the golf course with us. That never happens. But we
Recently?
No, years ago.
Okay.
Years ago. But we were only 3, and we had a random.
Oh boy.
His name was Mr. James.
Mr. James.
I heard this story.
Mr. James was very good, and we had 18 holes of education from Mr. James. So I don't know if it's a James thing about
There's
the
a
coaching.
lot of Jameses out there, all right.
Fun fact.
But it's
Fun
just
fact: we're the #1 name in the last 100 years.
Roughly 4 million people. In the
Yeah,
United
well
States.
over 4
that's
million.
another dynamic, though. Is like it's one thing if your boys are coaching up, but then you got this random guy, and I'm sure he's coming from a place of good intent. I just don't want to hear it. I got my own problems. I don't need 18 holes. He was coaching us. Now some of it was good advice.
He was a great guy though.
He was.
He was a phenomenal man.
We'll
We
never
actually
forget him.
saw him that next year randomly at the API. And James is like, or Ryan's like, is that Mr. James? And I was like, no, James, like you. It's like right behind us. He's getting food. No, is that Mr. James? And I turn, and there's Mr. James with his daughter, coaching his daughter. I don't know what's going on.
Did he ever see you guys?
No. But the best part about Mr. James was, it wasn't even so much about trying to learn how to hit the club, which one to pull out, what's the, all this good stuff. I'll never forget Ryan Salimos, notorious. He doesn't like to grab his putter when he grabs his wedge. He'll grab his wedge, go walk about 100 yards to get to his ball, hit the ball, hold up everybody, and Mr. James goes, come here, Ryan. He puts his arm around him.
How old is this guy?
Oh, 40s?
40s,
Okay.
yeah, mid 40s at
Hey,
that time.
when you go grab your wedge, grab your putter, son, so that you can just walk up to the green and not keep the pace of play.
Well, he says the sun.
And literally, I'm sitting here dying because then about 4 holes later, I did the exact same thing. And then, our ball's in the middle of the way. We don't got a ball marker. He's like, gentlemen, it's very simple. Just grab a quarter, grab a penny, a dime, a nickel. All you need is something. And we're like, okay. So he told us more about golf etiquette than anything.
He did. I think there's.
He was a nice gentleman, though. He was a nice guy.
But he was like, you guys, listen,
That's funny.
bogey golf, right? You guys want to play bogey golf. That's help with the mindset. I didn't
Sir, I'm just trying to get triples right now, okay? Bogey golf, it did help though. That was the
did.
best advice I've actually ever got in golf.
And the putter with the wedge was probably a good one too.
I can see how that definitely.
You didn't do that
fucks
before?
up pace.
I don't know, dude. This was, I'm telling you, Adam Vincent was with us. This is like 2021,
No,
2020.
we've been golfing together since college. So,
Whatever. Listen, it happens.
but you made a point, Johnny. Golf etiquette. I think with like the recent we covered like COVID. There's a younger demographic coming into the game. Like the game has changed. The golf etiquette is changing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even just what people wear on a golf course is changing drastically. I mean, granted, you've got a little bit more, I'll call it louder golf shirts, kind of like what Ryan's wearing right now. Yeah. I have my fair share of louder golf shirts. This is just from Copperhead, but yeah, they're more vibrant
Unzip it
colors
for the folks. Look at that. Look at this guy.
They're very comfortable.
Yeah, they are extremely comfortable.
I wear mine to work now because they're that comfortable, and people like them too. But yeah, I mean, golf etiquette is just changing in general. Music on the golf course. I don't remember playing with music ever when I was learning how to play. No one had speakers out in the golf course.
It's like a normal thing now.
It's normal. Like the golf technology is like rooted around this. They have speakers that tell you, okay, you're this far from the pin now, and it's then it goes back to playing whatever classic rock, country music, whatever you listen to on the golf course. It's nuts. But I mean, yeah, the game itself is changing. It's not a major etiquette course, but game. But I still think that etiquette is necessary. But
that's a great point. I have a quick question on top of that. On the flip side, do you think like polos should be required on a golf course?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say go ahead.
There you go.
I strictly from the sun perspective, I like a polo. Protects the neck a little bit.
That's true.
That's all.
I mean, that might be the reason why it's a thing.
I have no idea.
I do think that there is a level of like classiness that comes along with golf. I think it is a little bit more prestigious than you're going to say some other sports, and I think that that's part of it. And I think it keeps what you wear is very important because it keeps the trend.
Look good, you play good.
Yeah, it keeps the trend of the professionalism. It keeps the trend of the style of what they're going for. So I think it's definitely, just as far as like the classiness, I think it's needed.
But you don't stop with just a polo. You tuck it in.
Oh, you're looking at me.
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Sometimes I don't have a belt. Sometimes. To the polo thing, though, I don't think a polo is required. I think it's nice. However, Tiger Woods, his classic red shirt, it's not always a polo. And he's the best
True,
one.
yeah,
He's
right.
the best to ever do it.
Those
So,
it's like a mini polo thing.
it's not. I think
He's one of the very few that was able to pull that, and he's the best golfer of all time.
I think it's a nice. If you don't wear a polo, it's a very nice shirt, like a Lululemon type of make shirt, not just a regular T-shirt, gym shorts.
You bring your Sunday's best out to the golf course. Yeah, it makes sense.
I typically wear a polo. I'm just saying, for the sake of argument, not totally required. It's still a nice. You class it up a
Especially
little bit.
now, like polos, they're made for athletics. Like
they are.
They feel great.
How about the golf?
I just
pants,
can't.
though? Golf pants.
Golf pants are
Shorts.
tough in Florida. They're tough in Florida.
Yeah, but there's golf shorts.
Listen, you
I
have
understand
so
that.
much
That's
more
fine.
respect for a golfer like on the PGA when you see them walk for 4 days straight, 18 holes, and they're wearing pants.
Oh my gosh! I know.
Right? Like you get
Does it
much
seem like it's
and you're
like-
complaining because you're hot on the side, like, oh my God, 4 drinks in and you're still sweating. Meanwhile, they're going 18 holes. And then I look at the caddy.
Walking.
With the bag.
The caddy.
Walking.
I have respect for anyone who just walks it. We're over there 4 in our golf cart.
God forbid. No
driving.
carts on the grass. Oh, come on.
Car path only is the worst day ever. We walked a par 3.
Oh,
and
that
we're
was tough.
Dying.
Tough.
Yeah.
I mean, in 90, 100 degree weather, it's miserable. Miserable. But, man.
I'll never forget my first time going to the Arnold Palmer Invitational. First time really getting exposed to golf. Johnny makes a comment. Ryan, you're just better for this event than you do playing regular golf. I put on my, like you said, Kenny, dressed your best. I had my best golf outfit I own for this PGA tournament. Johnny's looking at me, you fucking fraud.
Still have your tube socks on.
I
though.
can't stand the tube socks. Thank you. I cannot stand
I got
the
Arnold
tube socks.
Palmer tube socks on today, baby. Hey, Ty loves some tubes. Ty's got some tube socks on. We are believers
That's cool,
in the
man.
tube socks.
Not on a golf course.
That's our cue, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But I just to end the comment.
No, we're done.
I cannot stand basketball shorts on a fucking golf course.
Oh, I can see
I
that.
can deal with a regular t-shirt and nicer golf pants or something. No fucking basketball shorts. It's just
I have not witnessed that, but I can see.
It's
how
a
that-
shame
See,
to the
that's what I'm
game.
saying. That is, and that's why I think
It's
there's a
disrespectful.
level of classiness that
Yeah.
you need to take part in to play the game of golf, and I think that you need to have that standard. Like when you go to a hockey game, like hockey jerseys, right? Like that's a thing.
Sure.
Like so, I mean, it's just part of the game.
Yeah.
It needs to stay.
What about the driving range? Can I wear my gym shorts to the driving range? Get some practice
Yeah, of
shots
course
in?
you can do that.
Go to Top Golf or something.
You go top golf.
Fucking Ryan in his gym shorts.
I've never worn gym shorts to a golf course. Let's get that under control. Like,
No.
not
We
you.
wouldn't
I've
let you.
seen-
why you guys
We wouldn't let
felt
you
like a
go.
little bit of an attack? You know, just
It's
clarifying
usually
for
on
the
the
people.
cheaper golf courses. 'Cause
Yeah.
the more expensive ones will have a clothing requirement.
They'll send
or
your
whatever
ass
you call
away.
them.
Okay.
Which I'm cool with. I mean, it's
Yeah,
their property.
no.
It's their rules. Like
100%.
Even some of them will say you have to wear pants.
which
Hey,
that's their rules.
They're
When you go to a nice
they're
dinner,
breathable.
sometimes
Some of
they do
these,
that.
some of the golf pants nowadays though are breathable.
well, that's what I'm saying.
mean,
The golf pants are nice.
For sure. Now you got now
This guy
you do
says it like
you've
Mr.
got
Golfer over
Oh,
here.
I got a bunch of golf.
you've
pants.
got some golfers on the PGA wearing like the what are they called
Joggers.
the joggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
like which
new.
is very new. It looks a little unique because you don't see a PGA person wearing those normally. But what's his name? He wears them all the time.
It's like party on the bottom, but business on top.
I mean, awful. Short socks. You can see their little cankles. Just I don't know.
Tube socks, baby.
Yeah, well, we know that's all for you.
Well, any last minute thoughts on golf?
Get out and play.
Yeah.
Get out and
it's
play.
definitely a sport. Where you gotta,
It's awesome.
You got to dabble. It's
good for your health.
especially as you get
It's
older.
awesome.
It's good for the boys. It keeps the competitive juices flowing as you get older, for sure. We're going to be in our 50s and 60s still getting pissed off trying to beat each other on 18. Put it in.
It's expensive, but
It is.
it's quite worth it in the long run.
Absolutely.
Awesome. See you on the course. Until then.
The
The better continues.